Hello, good afternoon. Lee Mallett from Mallett Buildings. I guess today we'll start off with comments. And I'm going to start off with Mr. Samuel Hostetler, who is from Iowa, the state of Iowa. I'll cover a lot of area. It's amazing. As a builder who has done both steel and wood frame, this guy has lost his marbles. If he thinks wood frame is better than steel, total garbage. I wonder what his house is built out of, steel or wood. It amazes me how someone can promote steel, yet just about everybody that does that is protecting their family with a wood structure. I'm a proponent of wood, treated wood. He would be correct if we're talking white wood, but in the world of today, it's treated. Therefore, I will put my structure up against a steel structure any day of the week. Look at the amount of materials. Look at the spacing of the trusses. Look at the columns compared to steel. Folks, it's pretty obvious. That's pretty strong compared to this. Their spacing is 5 feet. Air space is 3 feet. Posts or columns every 20 feet. Columns every 6 feet. I mean, it's a big difference. Look at your purlins are every 2 feet with a 2x6. They're going to put, this is the purlins. That's what they're going to attach the metal to. We attach the purlin to the truss, then the metal, the cladding on top of there. So I hate to disagree with you, but respectfully I do, because I think the pictures speak for themselves. This is stronger. This is, the second thing is, look, they even put wood in that steel building. Isn't that amazing? But look, everything is anchored on top of this slab. Everything is anchored 3 to 4 feet in the ground with a post frame structure. So I hope I answered your question. If not, send me another question. I'll go live again and I'll take care of you, Mr. Hostetler, in Iowa, the state of Iowa. Next one, Mr. Daniel Allen. He is from Lake Charles. Where's his quote?
Metal better than wood.
Oh, metal is better than wood. Well, that's your opinion. My opinion, put it back. This is an all-treated building, lifetime warranty against termites. Yeah, lifetime warranty against termites. Lifetime warranty against rot and fungal decay. Yes, lifetime warranty against rot and fungal decay. Lifetime warranty against rust. No warranty against rust. You're going to have to, some people say, oh, we got to put maintenance. That's true. There's no maintenance here. It's a lifetime warranty against rust, and you never have to do nothing. You have to do something with this red iron, this metal. So, once again, I respectfully disagree with you. I believe that wood is better than and I'd like to know, Mr. Allen, what's your house built out of? I bet it's built out of wood. And then we got Mr., I'm not even going to try to say it, I'm going to call him Mr. Alex. He's from Missouri. This makes a lot of sense. We should start building cars from wood. I tell you what, you take that paint off those cars and watch what happens. Take the paint off that steel, and how long is that car going to last? Think about that. Take the paint off the steel of that car, and this is what's going to start occurring. That wouldn't be a very pretty car. So you see, red iron needs protection. Treated post-frame buildings do not. Okay, that's the difference. I hope I answered your question, Mr. Alex. I do think that if you took the paint off that steel, you'd have the same problem that steel had. And then the last one is Mr. Dixon. Keep it clean and it will last. Litter beetles and termites will take down post frame along with a strong wind. Well, once again, I disagree. That's steel. Looked like the wind did a pretty number on that one. Show me another one. That's another steel building. So, depending on the type of wind, like a tornado, it's going to take pretty much any structure down. Okay? When you start talking about beetles, I told you there's a lifetime warranty against termites and all insects on a post-frame building. And a lifetime warranty against rot and fungal decay because it's all treated lumber. It's 100% #1 ground treated lumber we put in our buildings. So when you get to the comparing steel, but I got a lifetime warranty against rust. Now, getting back to your comment about the wind will blow it down, I want you to watch this.
Unprecedented destruction.
To be unsurvivable.
Be the strongest storm to ever hit Louisiana.
Cameron, Louisiana, taking the brunt of that northern eye wall.
I'm here at Darla K Food Mart, where being the only convenience store for 50 miles carries the weight of survival for this town.
I rest my case. That was probably 160, 170 miles an hour hitting that building, not more than probably 300 or 400 feet from the coast, not to mention the water that hit that building. So the argument that post frame can't take wind, you're wrong. And that's the proof. And there's a bunch of other things I could talk about that, but I thought that would be the best answer to your problem about worrying about post frame with wood or wind. So now I'm going to move to tubular. That's tubular. I have a licensed engineer that works for us, who I'm going to put on probably next week, and tell you how they wind load in these little buildings. They're not hurricane rated. But I'm going to let him tell the story about that. But go to the next slide. And when you start talking about tubular, same thing we're talking about red iron. The only thing anchoring that building down is those anchor bolts. And I keep telling you, the anchor bolts are the problem. If the anchor bolt's gone, these buildings are going to go. But if you look at the makeup of this thing, folks, it has a wind rating, as I understand, he's going to be here next week, to not break, it can bend. The deflection is the problem with these buildings. And the rating is not taking into consideration that deflection or hurricane wind. But I'm going to let the engineer, who's a licensed engineer, been many years, I'm going to get him on here live and let him explain that. Once again, this is how we do it. We put them in a post protector. They go 3 feet in the ground. We're not anchored on top of the slab. In fact, when we pour the slab, there's no weight on the slab. All the weight is transferred back to the post. Okay? This is how we build it. It can take a tremendous amount of headwind, because when you got a post every 10 feet, when that wind hits it, it's pretty much got to shear all the posts simultaneously, which would be very hard to do unless it was some really tremendous tornado. So this is my opinion, after 25 years in the business and over 20,000 structures on the ground that I've built and I've sold kits on. And all my personal stuff I build, this plant, if you pass in front of the plant, it's all built just like this. Everything I build post frame. I don't just talk it, I walk it. I believe in it, and that's what I believe, and that's what I do. So I'm not trying to sell you on something and I'm building steel buildings. Some people, you know, try to sell both, and I would presume they really want to sell steel. For example, if we went and looked at Reed's, their whole thing is steel. Yet they're selling post frame buildings. Why? Must not believe in that steel too much. I don't know. Maybe you go ask them. So anyway, that brings us to the next section. We now have a new line of buildings called the Smart Start structures. These structures are being built to compete with, quote unquote, tubular. This is the pricing that we've come out with. A 20 by 40 is $17,999, 30 by 30 $19,999, 30 by 40 $24,999, 30 by 50 $29,999. For more information, give us a call, 337-214-0428, or call me. I'll be glad to tell you about this new smart structure. But it is built to compete with tubular. Okay? Now, why choose Mallett? When we start talking about being in business 25 years, and some people have a problem with me talking about me being in the business 25 years, and well, the guy's only been in business 2 years or 3 years, and you're putting them down. I'm not putting them down. I'm just being factual about the fact that it makes a difference. For instance, I've been in business 25 years. Proven longevity. We've been in business for 25 years while others come and go. We're here to stay. Our competitors, they're still trying to figure it out. Factual statement. 2 decades of expertise. With 25 years under our belt, we've mastered our craft. Competitors can only dream of reaching our level of experience. When you start looking at people who only got 1, 2 years or 3 years, even 5 years, surely Every buyer wants to get someone who has the most experience for the following reasons. The next one, time-tested reliability. We've weathered every storm for over 2 decades. Competitors haven't even stood the test of time. I have been in business long enough to tell you I've gone through, I think, almost 8 storms. They can't say that. They have to be in business a long time to catch up to me. Unmatched stability. 25 years in business mean we're rock solid. Others may wobble and falter, but we're as strong as ever. Case in point, SLPS. Just got caught contractor fraud, and I understand it's way up there. That's why you say, I want to do business with somebody who's been in business, so if there is a problem, he can stand behind the deal. He's got the resources to financially back what he's doing. How I got there, it doesn't matter. I'm here, and you got to compete with me. So these cats that get all upset, quit crying about it and get on, do what you got to do to compete with me, because I'm not going nowhere, and I'll continue. Next year will be 26 years. And next year will be 27, 28, 29, 30. It's a factual statement. Decades of satisfied customers. Over our 25-year history is built on satisfied customers who come back time and time again. And can your competitors say the same? Not a chance. I'm going over why the 25 years of length of business, length of time in business is critical. Industry leadership. For 20, we've led the way. Our competitors, they're still following our footsteps, trying to catch up. Everything I do, they copy. I was the first one down here that really got engaged in this. Before I got involved in post-frame construction 25 years ago, most of the people coming here was the Oklahoma builders, building with number 3 lumber, 5x5 posts. Just, it was really, those were really pole barns. I took it to another level by continuing to add things, whether it be post protectors, whether it be 2x6 trusses, and they were building 2x4 trusses at the time. 2x6 trusses, all treated lumber. Everything I ever did do when I improved, they all followed me. So you got a choice. You can go with the leader of the pack, or you can deal with somebody else who's behind me, who still isn't trying to improve. In today's world, we use a 2x8 truss. Oh, you don't need that. They say, oh, you don't need that. You know what? It's free. Wouldn't you rather have a 2x8 truss than a 2x6 truss? It's stronger. It's a better truss. You're not going to have it. And when we lift those trusses, ever watch us lift these trusses? The 2x6s, they wobble a lot. Them 2x8s don't wobble. It's a stronger truss, period. We like to overkill, not underkill, or get close to the edge. And when you put a 2x8 truss, anybody that tells you you don't need it, well, maybe, maybe not. I don't know where they get their engineering. None of my competitors have engineers on staff. They're not designing these things like us, really trying to increase the structures. But every time I do something, they're going to try to copy. The problem they have with a 2x8 truss is I got my own plant. It's probably too expensive for them. Okay? Experience you can trust. We've seen it all done in the last 25 years. Competitors simply don't have the depth of knowledge we bring to the table. For instance, if we was in a court of law and we was called as experts, would you think the guy would qualify with 2 or 3 years versus as an expert? Would the guy with 25 years be the expert? It's the guy with 25 years. He would be classified as an expert. They would win the argument, well, you've only been doing this a few years. We're not going to classify you as an expert. This guy over here is the expert. He's got too many years. But that comes from many, many years of trying to increase the quality in the different types of buildings that we do. There's some other things coming down the pike we're working on that will separate us from them. The trusses now, but I'm working on another project. Hopefully by the next year, we're going to get that project going. That's going to really separate Mallett Buildings for the rest of them. But understand, they follow me. Everything they do, they follow me. How does a lifetime metal warranty? I don't know about a lifetime metal warranty. I've never seen that. You got a lifetime, send it to me. I'd like to see it, and I'll talk about it next time. The manufacturer of that wood who treats it gives you a lifetime warranty. I've never seen a lifetime warranty on metal. And some will say, well, if I'm maintenance, I'll get a 40. I don't know. I've never seen these warranties y'all talking about. I can show you my warranties. I can show you my warranties from a manufacturer. Just like where I buy my cladding or my metal, they're going to give me a 40-year warranty, and they're going to tell you what's warranted. But you're not going to get a lifetime warranty. Not on metal. And I thought, I've never seen it. But if you got it, send it to me. I'd be glad to see it. But I appreciate the question, Mr. Myers. Now, experience you can trust. We've seen it all, done it all. Okay, the consistency over time. We've delivered excellent consistency for 25 years. Our competitors are still trying to figure out how to keep up. That's a factual statement. So when I talk about 25 years in the business as a big, big plus compared to my competitors, these are the reasons why. And I think they make sense. I don't think, if you've only been in business 2 years or 3 years, even 5 years, you can't say some of this stuff. But let's continue. Proven trust. I got an A+ rating with the BBB with over 150 reviews. We've earned an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. When it comes to trust, our competitors simply can't compete. Some of them have an A+ rating because the Better Business Bureau, what they do is they will give you a rating, whether you're a member or not. But the real key is, and I've looked at it 100 times, you go check this out. Go to the review section. I'm one of the few companies that has any, and I'm one of the only ones that has over 150 BBB reviews, good reviews. In the last 3 years, I've had one, I think it's one, and I've responded to it. Last 12 months, one. So compared to what I talked about the last time, Reed's was bought out by Cornerstone, then bought out by Fortify, and Fortify is not even registered with the Secretary of State, but when it was Cornerstone, 413 complaints. 200 in the last year. Go look at the Better Business Bureau. I'm talking from documents that you have access to. And if you're going to buy a building, you should look at all these things to help you make a better decision. Impeccable track. Our A+ rating is a badge of honor reflecting our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. Where do our competitors stand? They can't even come close. They can't with reviews. I challenge anybody to go look at that. Did they ask the same question?
Yes, what's our warranty?
How does your metal warranty work? I don't know how, I don't mess with steel, Mr. Myers, but I can tell you how it mixes with wood, at least us. The people we do business with, the people we buy our treated lumber from, they give a lifetime warranty against rot and fungal decay, termite damage, and rust. It's in writing. Now I go an extra distance by putting on the post, I put the post protector. And we give a 50-year warranty if you put the post protectors. I don't know, I hadn't seen a metal warranty with a lifetime warranty. Each company is probably different. All I know is on sheathing, the maximum you can get is about 40 years before there's a possibility that paint starts having issues, fading, different things. But to answer your question,
The metal wrap.
oh, what about this? Okay, the metal wraps the building. I buy my metal from Central States. It's a regional company, covers I think 8 or 9 states. The most they'll give you is a 40-year warranty against those things. But it's a manufacturer's warranty, so if something happens, against different things, if something happens, you send us in the pictures, we send it to them, they make the call. If I produce the metal, or roll the metal, then I would have to stand behind the warranty myself. But that's the difference. I mean, but it's painted. See, when you start talking about red irons, start talking about these other irons, they're not painted. And you couldn't give a warranty on that steel if it wasn't painted. And they use zinc coatings on the inside of the metal, and they come back with some really expensive paint. You can get different layers. You get 10-year warranty. You got to watch that too. Some of these companies, be careful on your warranties. They got a 10-year product you can buy. It's only warranted for 10 years. Then you got a 20, and then you get to the 40, the most expensive metal. So some of that stuff, but if you ever come here, you want to see, I'll show you the warranties from the manufacturer. I don't make the windows either, but I get warranties from my manufacturers. Okay, we warrant workmanship. And so, let's see, where was I at? Zero tolerance for mediocrity. A+ means zero unresolved complaints. We don't just meet expectations, we exceed them every single time, unlike these other guys. Long-term reliability. We've maintained this top-tier rating year after year. It's a testament to our consistency while competitors struggle to keep up. What else we got?
We got one more question.
What is it?
What is the lead time on a building, and does the pricing on the website include a slab?
Yes. Well, look at the ad. It'll tell you what it includes. But most all my buildings pricing includes a slab. Lead time, it depends. Let me break that down to you too. So when you buy a building from us, We have 15 days, unless it's in Texas, because we got to use a different engineer. But in Texas, it doesn't. It works a little differently. And if you're in no, Texas, it's only Texas on that, because you got windstorm certification. There's different certifications for Texas. But typically, you buy a building today, within 15 days, we're going to send you something, what's called a design approval, where you look at the building that you said you're going to get, and we design it. And you initial on everything about that building before I order it, so there's no mistakes. From the color on down, it's in a contract checklist. And it's designed physically, it's stamped, everything's ready to go. At the end of 15 days, when you sign off on that, I send that to you with the stamp plan. Okay? Depending on where it's at. But anyway, you got 15 days to get the design approval. You can add on once, I think, to change it, but after that there is a charge. But typically in 15 days we're going to get the design approval to you. You get that back to me. I got to take it and get it stamped. Once it's stamped, I send it right back to you, and then the ball's in your court. If you can get me today the permit, I'll have your building delivered to your site within 3 weeks. A lot what happens is people don't step up and get their permits properly. And as licensed contractors, we won't start till we see those permits. A lot of people, oh, you don't need a permit till they catch you. But why would you do business with someone who doesn't want to do it the right way? I mean, look, if you go back and listen to some of this contractor stuff that's going on, and as chairman of state contractor, where I can tell you there's a lot of it that goes on, you have to be careful what goes on with these people. Because once you give that money, if something goes south, you got a problem. And right now there is one in particular. He's not the first one. There's more. There's a bunch of them. But there's one in particular right now who's having issues. I think he had a bunch in Texas, he had a bunch in Louisiana. He got picked up for contractor fraud. We know of at least 3 charges pending, and I think there's more to come. I don't know, but I can tell you, be careful about who you're going to do business with, and make sure these people are look, I had they had another one. Last week, a week before, a lady in Lake Charles did business with someone because her friends told her, oh, he's good. That cost that poor lady $160,000 he took off with her money. Just because somebody's nice, got a few, check them out. I told you again, red flag. Check with the Secretary of State. Is he registered with the state? It's going to tell you who the proper parties are. Go to the LSOBC. Is he a state licensed contractor? A. And does he have any violations? Red. Those are all red flags. So these things start adding up. Years in business. If he's only been in business a couple of years, you need to be careful. He hasn't stood the test of time. He may go under, and then you don't know when that day is going to come. Just like Brent Dugas with SLPS. Who thought when they gave him that money that would happen to him? I had one come in here just Saturday. He's waiting for his money to come back so he can get his building. That was over a year ago. So not only did he lose his money, he's lost a whole year to get his building. Now he's got to wait to get his money back. He's filed charges. So then he could go build his dream building. But that's the problem with these guys. Look at the facts. Quit being drawn into this by young guys who really aren't astute businessmen. And just do your homework. If he meets all the criteria, so be it. It's your money. Do what you want to do. The last thing I'll tell you, the red flag, is go look at his place of business. Go look at his equipment. Is he equipped to really handle this? Does he have the equipment to say he's vested, he's going to be here in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years? Does he have an office? Who's going to answer the phone? Or is he operating out of his truck? All those things add up. I'm telling you, it's real easy to see, well, I might have a problem. Now, if you want to do business with that, that's fine. It's your problem. But my problem is when I sit on that board and poor people come there crying because they're out their money. Most of the time it's elderly who've been taken advantage of because they just don't know enough about construction. Some nice guy, smooth talker. Just be careful, okay? That's all I'm telling you. I've sit back the last few years and not done it like this because I'm going to jump into some stuff in a minute that the rest of them ain't going to like. But what it is, it is. The facts are the facts. What's that?
You offer a permit waiver?
You can't get a permit waiver. I've never heard of such a thing, Mr. Primo, a permit waiver. Well, you got to get a permit. The only waiver you can get is you as the homeowner have the ability to contract the job. But then you got to sign an affidavit that you're going to be the contractor of record. But all the responsibilities of a licensed contractor fall on you. But I've never heard of a permit waiver. I've heard of a waiver. A homeowner can build his own stuff. I've never heard of. I'll check in. I've never heard of that, but I'll be glad to check into that. I've never heard of a permit. If you're right there, tell me where'd you hear that at? What's this? We're relying to Brandon. We sure do. You sure do what?
I think they appreciate the answer. You can continue.
Okay. Then you got the customer first approach. Our A+ rating isn't just about quality. It's about putting you first every time. Can your competitors say the same? We doubt it. Unmatched accountability. We hold ourselves to the highest standards. A+ standards with our competitors is busy making excuses. Trusted by thousands. Thousands of satisfied customers helped us achieve this rating. Ask yourself, where do our competitors stand in the eyes of their customers? Industry leadership, with an A+ rating, we're not just another option, we're the industry leader. The competition, they're playing catch up to us.
You said a waiver to not get a permit.
I've never heard of a waiver not to get a permit. Well, there's a quirk in the law, I think, but most permit also want to, if you're building a camp or an agriculture building, you can get it's not called a waiver, it's called drawing a blank. I'll tell you what, I'll talk about that the live probably tomorrow, and I'll get the term. But yeah, there is a quirk in the law that there's an exception. It's an exception. The exception being if it's a camp, if I recall, and also agriculture buildings, you can get I don't know if it's called a waiver, but an exception in the law. But most parishes, see, state law is right here. Parish law, city law, they can't make it less, but they can make it more. So let's say the state says you don't need a permit, or I'm going to give you an exception for whatever. The parish or the city could pass an ordinance to make it stronger and require you to, so could the parish. They can't make it less, but they can sure make it stronger. Yeah. But I'll do some more. I'll get my mind back on that. There's a lot of stuff goes on in my head, but I'm going to get the proper term, and I'll address that next time I go live. Probably do that tomorrow. I was telling y'all, this is two prime examples of two guys who both got caught or charged with contractor fraud. Both of them worked for me. This one was a designer, never built a building. This one ran the truss saw, never built a building, and they all went in business. And that's fine. They got a right to do that, but you have to be careful. You need to do your due diligence. This is the kind of stuff that bothers me and worries me when we start talking about all this stuff that goes on. I deal with this every month, and I'm going to start, I think our next meeting is this month. I'm going to start bringing that. I want to go through the whole thing with you and show you the amount of people that are charged with this type of stuff. Go to your next slide. I mean, it's amazing. So, now they're going to get all upset because they don't want you to know this stuff. But this is public record. You can go to the LSLB site and go down the line and check out Southern Style, complaint, filed, no contest plea. S&S Steel, contractor and licensed contractor. Precision, contractor and licensed, found guilty. He fought it, but he got found him guilty. Ranger, 3 complaints, also got charged with contractor fraud. Beck Industries, got caught. Reed's Metals, got caught, which is now Fortify, or was, I don't know, I can't figure that deal out. But this is the kind of stuff that's public record that all of y'all should go look at. And I know they don't like it, but it's the facts. The facts are the facts. And that's what it is. And so if you're going to do business, just be careful that, well, something might happen, something might not happen. I don't know. But the bottom line is, do your due diligence. Don't get caught up in this stuff. You know, don't listen. Look, somebody can tell, oh, I know him, he's a good guy. No, let me go check it out myself. Like I told you, those 5 red flags. Go down them red flags. Then you're going to make a logical decision that possibly will keep you in a lot of trouble. I'm sure that lady that gave that cat $160,000 wish she'd have followed my advice. I'm sure the person that Brent Dugas took all that money, I bet they wish they'd have followed my advice. They don't have to, but I'll tell you right now, after being on that board for almost 16 years, I'm chairman the last 7, maybe 8. I'm not sure where I'm at right now. But anyway, I've seen every possible thing you could possibly see with most of these contractors. Now, understand, there's different levels. So now the home improvement contract, we changed the law. Now they can't build. They dropped from 75 to 50,000. And then what we did, they can't build new construction. If you got one of these guys giving you a bid to build a new construction, they're violating the law. That's the new law. Now we got to catch them. And we will. In time, they get caught. Just a matter of time. But they can't build these structures no more. Now, jump to licensed contractors. Licensed contractors, you need to check for violations. Licensed contractors, if they were home improvement and they just swap license, you be careful. Check them out all the way. Okay? Because we run across a lot of licensed contractors who we catch them too, doing crazy stuff. Like the main one they like to do is they like to hire unlicensed subs on their job so they can make more money. It's typically our out-of-staters that do that, and we also see some bigger companies do it too. But you know, just do your due diligence. It doesn't matter. You know, I think a licensed contractor, at least he passed the test. These others have never passed the test. So just because you jump from one point to the next point, check their violations. Check the red flags. Check their location. Check their plates. See what these people are made of. Look, if you're gonna buy a $50,000 building from me, I hope that you would make sure that if you change your mind or something happens, he's got the $50,000 to replace or whatever, or percentage or something back, depending on what the contract says. That's very important. You must check these people out financially. What happens? What happens if he gets in trouble? What happens, like probably these two cats? It's called robbing Peter to pay Paul. I've seen at least 5, and I've been doing this 25 years. I think I've seen at least maybe 6 or 7 go under like this. Because what they do, they hadn't been in business. They jump in this thing, and they start selling buildings, and they get all this money. The problem is, ain't all that money's theirs, and they start spending it, buying boats and all kind of crazy stuff, and then they're chasing Peter, because Paul wants to build his building, and they ain't got the money. So you got to go sell Peter another building to get that money to go pay for Paul's building. That's what happens. And so their years in business, their acumen in business is a very important factor also. But you should always make sure these people have got the ability and the resources to stand behind what they're doing, and that nothing's going to happen to you. That's all. There's nothing wrong with telling you or talking to you about this. So what's this reply? We sure do. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay. But, all right. So, last thing I want to tell you. If you want a building from us, let me tell you the best thing to do, easiest thing to do. You go to mallettbuildings.com. I have a 3D image system. In this 3D image system, you're going to be able to pick the colors, design the building from the size, width, length, height, roof type, whatever you want. You can put wings, you can put gables, you can do all kinds of things. Okay? So, the easiest thing for you to do, don't waste, if you want to call, fine. The best and easiest way is go to the 3D image. It's going to get all your information. You're going to pick your building. You can change the colors. You can do everything right and build your building. Then the next morning, we will see that, and the building specialist will take that bid or that design, and he will send you a really good educated bid, because now he can see exactly what you're talking about that you want, because it's hard to do that on telephone. So my recommendation to you is this. Go, before you call, you can call if you want to call, it's fine. Do this. And you're gonna, that's a permanent file. If you decide to build it later on or whatever, you can do this. And you get to see your build. It's a 3D image of what you're talking about. You may, and when you do this, you be able to say, well, I don't like that color. What about a wing? You know, and what if I did this or what if I did that? It's going to show you the layout. It's going to show you everything. And that's the best way and the easiest way for us to get back to you immediately without wasting your time and getting you a quote that is super solid without guessing. Because you know, a lot of times you're talking and we're not talking about the same thing. Here, you just tell her what you want. Like, see right up here, all the stuff's right here. You can put wainscot, you got roof options, you can put lean-tos, building extensions, windows, doors. You can put all that in your building. That's the way to do it, because you're going to get the bid's going to be, there ain't going to be no mistakes. And now really and you get to see it. That's the main thing. You get to see what you're talking about. But anyway, I just want to tell you, you know, give us a call if you want to give us a call, or go to mallettbuildings.com, go to my 3D image, there's a place to hit, and you can design your own building. It'll come to us immediately. And the next day, we're going to get a quote out to you immediately. Then we need to start talking. Because at that point, and if what I sent you is not correct, you change your mind, you can, if you resend it, it'll come right back to us. And we'll redo it again. But like that, see, here's a wing. You can make it in, you see how it moves? Wainscot. You can set your post spacings different if you want. Look, you can do all that. There you go. It's really a good tool. I highly recommend it. It'll make a big difference in us expediting everything to you, and it'd be done right. Because now we're sending you based on a picture, not sitting down trying to figure out all this by hand. That's why we put it there. We've had it for years. Okay? You can put a wing on each side. You can put a gable extension. There's all kind of things you can do. And it's very, very easy. Anybody, it's easy, easy, easy. You just hit the deal, and you can, it's easy. You'll enjoy it. I'm telling you, it'll really give you a lot of good ideas. But, well, I guess that's about it, except I want to tell y'all that tomorrow on the Louisiana Politics and News, I'm going to have Dr. Rouse. He's the president of McNeese. He's going to be coming live. We're going to be talking about what's going on at the school. I'm heavily involved in the community. I give a lot of money back to different charity functions, and very big supporter of McNeese. I'm also on the LSU Board of Supervisors. So I'm a big supporter of education. But I'm going to have Dr. Rouse here tomorrow, and I'm going to let, if you want to chime in, it's called Louisiana Politics and News. That's another site we have that we go live on. And next week, we're going to have Will Wade. He'll be talking about what's happening in basketball for this season coming, but that's on Louisiana Politics. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this afternoon. Once again, send me your questions. I love talking to y'all. I love the questions. Even though we may disagree, I respectfully agree to respectfully disagree from you. But I enjoy doing it. So, hey, send your questions. Once again, give us a call at 337-214-0428 or 337-515-2154, or go to that 3D site. Go to mallettbuildings.com and design your building. And last thing, I will beat anybody's price by $1,000, apples to apples. I don't care if it's a kit. I don't care if it's a building. Give it to me. Let me compete. Because all you're doing is saving money with that offer. But I don't care what it is. Give me a shot at it. And I'll beat them by $1,000, apples to apples. Once again, thank you for listening, and y'all have a nice afternoon.